Today, two local high schools look to push their team into the next round of Lakeshore Public Media's annual academic tournament that we call Making the Grade. Will it be Michigan City or Valparaiso? We'll find out next. You're just moments away from this edition, Making the Grade.
Program support comes from NIPSCO.
Honey, who is this guy?
Oh, that's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Honey, why is Frank in our bedroom?
He's showing us ways to save money. Plus, he'll even help us install LED bulbs and new shower heads.
Oh, well, he is leaving before I shower, though, right?
To schedule an energy assessment and learn more about energy usage, visit nipsco.com.
Frank, could you hand me a towel?
Lakeshore Public Media and Making the Grade are supported by Chick-fil-A, proudly serving our Northwest Indiana community, helping to support education and developing young minds. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, located in Maryville in front of the South Lake Mall.
It's Season 7 of Lakeshore Public Media's annual academic tournament that we call Making the Grade. Hi, I'm your host, Andy Schultz, and today 8 of the best and brightest students in Northwest Indiana look to push their team into the next round of our tournament with multiple things at stake. Number 1, our championship trophy, but also scholarship money at the end as well. We'll see who takes the top prize in this year's tournament. Today, we welcome 2 schools to our tournament. First, Michigan City and Valparaiso. We'll have a chance to meet our contestants in a few moments on the show, but we're going to start this game right away, get some points on the board in our first round that we call Questions and Answers. It's pretty simple. I ask the questions, you give the answers. 5 points for a correct response, and there's no penalty if you answer incorrectly. We'll just give the other team a shot at those points. Let's play the game. First 5-point clue coming your way now. This woman went on to be a U.S. delegate to the United Nations and an advocate for civil rights. Name this widely respected woman who was the longest-serving First Lady of the United States. Caitlin from Michigan City.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Eleanor Roosevelt is correct. First 5 points of the game go to Michigan City. Next 5-point clue. The Continental Congress of 1776 encouraged enlistments during the American Revolutionary War by providing pensions for soldiers if they were disabled. But this department, which coordinates all activities for those who have served our country in wartime, didn't become a cabinet position until 1930. Rishi from Michigan City.
Veterans Affairs.
That is correct. Department of Veterans Affairs, also known as the VA. 5 more for MC. What word starting with C describes something you get a lot of in your garden, such as corn, tomatoes, or apples? Sylvie from Valparaiso.
Crop.
Crop is correct. First points of the game for Valparaiso. It is made of a set of amino acids, some of which are found in peanut butter, beans, and meat. Caitlin from Michigan City.
Protein.
Protein is correct. 5 more for Michigan City. Illinois and Iowa are among the states whose lowest point touches what major body of water? Rishi from Michigan City.
Mississippi River.
Mississippi River is correct. Looked like you were guessing, and it was a good one. 5 more for the Wolves. Here's your next 5-point clue. What 5-letter suffix indicates an instrument used in any scientific study, not just biology? Rishi from Michigan City.
Scope.
Yes, that is correct. S-C-O-P-E. You guys are on a roll right now. The last part of the poem, Idylls of the King, tells of the death of what king of myth who had Sir Bedivere throw his sword Excalibur to the Lady of the Lake? Sylvie from Valparaiso.
King Arthur.
King Arthur is correct, and you guys are back on the board. Games to develop skills in it include party quirks, where one person figures out the strange behaviors of all the others on stage. Name this acting technique of thinking and acting Caitlin from Michigan City.
Improvisation.
That is correct. 5 more for Michigan City. And you guys lead 30-10. In written music, what is represented by the top number in a time signature, such as the 3 in 3/4 time? Sylvie from Valparaiso.
The number of beats in a measure.
That is correct. 5 more for MC, and you have the deficit to 15. The Russian ambassador to this country recently claimed that World War II was partly this country's fault. Name this nation invaded by Russia in September 1939, 2 weeks after Germany first invaded it from the other direction to actually start. Caitlin from Michigan City.
Poland.
Poland is correct, that's right, to actually start World War II. He arrived at the idea that species descend with modifications from other species. Sylvia from Valparaiso.
Charles Darwin.
That is correct. Darwin, 5 more points for Valpo, and you trail by 15. It was home to ancient gladiator fights and is sometimes called the Flavian Amphitheater. Name this sports arena whose ruins Bree from Valparaiso.
Coliseum.
The Coliseum is correct. 5 points for Valpo, and that's the end of our first round. And after that first round, Michigan City, you lead by 10. As we take a few moments, step aside from the game to meet our contestants, let's take a chance and get to know our contestants in today's game. Let's start on the Michigan City side of the stage, and we're talking to Megan, who is a freshman here, first time on the show, and you don't see freshmen too often on the show, so congratulations, pardon for getting to this point. Can't talk today. And it says here that you are into horseback riding.
Yep.
Something you spend a lot of time on.
Yeah.
And when you do that, where do you actually get to do that?
I go to a stable out by Heston. And I
Excellent.
ride out there. It's
Awesome.
called State Line Stables.
Well, good. Glad to have you here on the show. We're talking to Elizabeth, who is a junior and a member of the Japanese club. Now, are you getting to the point where you're pretty fluent in Japanese?
Conversational Japanese, yeah.
All right. So have you been to Japan before?
No, but I've hosted 5 Japanese exchange students.
Nice. Do you want to go?
Yeah.
I assume so, right?
Yeah.
You want to get it in practice there. Awesome, Elizabeth. Great to meet you. Rishi is a senior at Michigan City High School. Mechanical engineering you're going to study at Purdue. What do you want to do with that?
I've always had a love for flying ever since the first time I flew, and I thought I want to work very closely by being an aerospace engineer.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good. Sounds really complex and way above what I'm able to do. Rishi, excellent. Glad you're here. Caitlin, returning to the show for your 4th time around, right? You've
Yep.
been on here every year you've been at Michigan City High School, and you're going to be a political science major in college, right?
Yep, at Valpo.
So what inspired you to get into that?
Hoosier Girls State. Honestly, I went last summer and I just fell in love with government and politics.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome back to the show. Good luck to the Michigan City team the rest of the game. They are coached by Brian Richards. As we head over to the Valparaiso side of the stage, checking in, actually I'm going to go back here and talk to Sylvie, who's a returning member of the team as well. And it says here, and I remember we talked about this last season, that you are fascinated with carnivorous plants,
Yes.
right? Okay, so plants that like to eat meat or something like that, right?
In this case, mostly insects.
Mostly insects. So are there actually plants that will eat bigger
If something
things?
just sort of falls in, then they'll digest it, but
Okay.
they're not attracting them.
All right. So like what's the nearest species to Northwest Indiana?
That would be Saracenia purpurea, the purple pitcher plant, up at the Indiana Dunes. There's some.
So we have some in Northwest Indiana.
Yes, we do.
That's terrible, terrible.
It's wonderful.
Awesome. That's true. For you, but for me, I don't know. I may never go to the dunes again. Tim is a sophomore at Valparaiso High School. Tim, nice to meet you. You play board games. What's your favorite?
I would say chess.
All right, we were talking a little bit earlier. You told me that you once played Risk by yourself, playing both sides. How does that even work?
Well, sometimes the people that I usually play with don't want to play because I like to play so often.
Yeah.
So I just play for all the players. Sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 6.
Sure.
Have some tournaments.
So who wins usually when you play?
Usually me.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim, nice job. Bree is a junior at Valpo High School, and you once went to a cadaver lab and held a brain.
Yes.
All right. Now, was it a big one?
It was the full central nervous system.
Oh, wow. That sounds really complex. Do you think the carnivorous plants would be interested in consuming
I think
that?
it might be too big.
Bria, that sounds really interesting, and I got to be honest, I don't know if I want any part of that. So glad you're here competing today. Caitlin is a junior as well at Valpo, and you recently received a red convertible for your birthday, right?
I did. I turned 15 and I got a red Mazda Miata.
All right. So when you drive that, do you keep it under the speed limit?
I try to.
At least that you're willing to admit here on TV.
Yeah.
And you're licensed to drive it, of course.
I am.
All right, Caitlin. Nice to meet you. Congratulations on getting here, Valpo team. They are coached by Chantel Melkai. As we move on into the game, our next round puts individuals against each other. We call it Pop Quiz. This is a one-on-one competition. No conferring with your teammates. We'll just go down the line. It'll be Caitlin versus Sylvie, Tim versus Rishi, Elizabeth and Bree, Caitlin and Megan. After 4 questions, we'll just cycle back around again. All right, this first clue for Caitlin and Sylvie. George Washington began the tradition of presidents serving only 2 terms long before which constitutional amendment was passed that allows all presidents only 2 terms. Caitlin from Michigan City.
The 22nd Amendment?
That is correct. 2-2 for 5 points for Michigan City. For Tim and Rishi, give the correct spelling of the word effect as used in this sentence. Learning that their assignments would be graded had an effect on how hard. Rishi from Michigan City.
EFFECT.
Is correct. 5 more points for the Wolves. Next clue for Bree and Elizabeth. The Thwaites Glacier that drains into the Amundsen Sea is off the west coast of what very cold continent in the southernmost area of the Earth? Bree from Valparaiso.
Iceland.
It is not Iceland. Give Elizabeth a couple of seconds. Go ahead.
Antarctica.
It is Antarctica. That is correct. 5 more points for Michigan City, and you lead by 25. To Megan and Caitlin at the back. Name any 2 of the 5 states that border Georgia. Caitlin from Valparaiso.
South Carolina and Florida.
Is correct. We would have also taken Alabama, North Carolina, and Tennessee. Valparaiso back on the board again. Sylvie and Caitlin, this one's for you. What measure of distance north or south of the equator is different than longitude? Sylvie from Valpo.
Latitude.
Latitude is correct. 5 more for Valpo. Your comeback starts now. A memorial was carved into it in 1970 to honor the Confederacy. A memorial that some have now suggested should have Martin Luther King added. Name this Georgia memorial that features Robert E. Lee. Tim from Valparaiso.
Stone Mountain.
Stone Mountain is correct. 5 more for Valpo. You trail by just 10. For Bree and Elizabeth, the title character of the novel Peak is told to either go to jail or climb what highest mountain in the world? Bree from Valparaiso.
Mount Everest.
Mount Everest is correct. 5 more, and you trail by just 5. Caitlin and Megan, this is for you. When using a Bunsen burner, what should you turn on until you can hear it going through the hose before trying to light the Bunsen burner? Caitlin from Valpo.
The gas.
The gas is correct, and we are tied. 50 points apiece. A good game going. Sylvie and Caitlin, this is for you. According to a common phrase, something that's easy to get is considered a dime a blank. This common unit, Sylvie from Valparaiso.
A dozen.
A dime a dozen is correct, just like game show hosts. There's so many, and we don't need as many. Rishi and Tim, for you. A year after his burial mask was broken, museum experts are now trying to properly restore part of the mask's beard. Name this ancient Egyptian king whose golden mask was found in 1922. Tim from Valparaiso.
King Tut.
King Tut is correct, and that will do it for our second round of play. Valparaiso leading now 60-50, but there are points aplenty coming up here in our next couple of rounds. So let's check in now with class project. It's pretty simple here. You can work together in this round of play. I'll read 3 clues that all point toward the same answer. If you answer correctly after the first clue, it's worth 30 points. If I read 2 clues, it's worth 20. All 3 clues, it's worth 10. Let's play the game. Everybody eligible to buzz back in here. The category is social studies, your 30-point clue. This 2-word term is described by Wikipedia as the 14-month period between December of 2010 and February, I don't know where I got that from, of 2012. 14-month period between December 2010 and February 2012. Anybody want to take a shot for 30? No? Do we get it in time? I think just behind. Sorry, Tim. 20-point clue coming your way. This time period saw large-scale protests. Tim from Valparaiso.
The Arab Spring.
Arab Spring is correct. Valparaiso, 20 points after 2 clues read there. All right, 3 more clues, all pointing toward one answer. The category, science and math. For 30, when an atom has reached this 2-word situation, it cannot give off any more electromagnetic radiation. Anybody want to take a shot? All right, here's your 20-point clue. This term describes any particle in which all electrons are at as low an energy level as they can possibly be. Bree from Valparaiso.
Ground state.
Ground state is correct. 20 more points for the Vikings, and you now lead 100-50. Last set of clues for this round. Literature and language arts, the category, your 30-point clue. A Siamese stage version of this novel appears in Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I. Anybody can buzz in, take a shot for 30. All right, here's your 20-point clue. In this 19th century novel, Aunt Chloe asks Mrs. Shelby to hire her out to work in Louisville so she can save money to buy her husband back from slavery. We get that in on time? Nope. Sorry about that, Caitlin. Here's your 10-point clue. It was the most famous work of author Harriet Beecher Stowe. Tim from Valpo.
Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Uncle Tom's Cabin is correct. Did you have that, Caitlin? Oh, man, sorry. After 3 rounds of play, Valpo with a 110-50 lead, but there are tons of points at stake here in our final round of play. Final exam. 6 categories, 5 questions each, worth 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. We'll answer the questions in that order. The team that controls the board will choose the category and where we go next. However, Michigan City, you get to control the board because you trail at this point in the game. Which 10-point clue and category would you like to start with, MC?
Let's go with U.S. states.
U.S. states, a 10-point clue. Mount Junipero Serra is in this state's Big Sur country, just south of Monterey, west of Fresno, and north of Los Angeles. Tim from Valpo.
California.
California is correct for 10 points for the Vikings, and you extend your lead and control the board. Stay with U.S. states or go elsewhere.
U.S. states.
U.S. states for 15. Alabama and Texas are among the states whose lowest point touches this body of water. Rishi from Michigan City.
Gulf of Mexico.
Gulf of Mexico is correct. 15 for MC, and you control the board.
Let's go with world history for 10.
World history, starting a new category, 10-point clue. Officially called the Collegiate Church of St. Peter, every British monarch since 1066 has been crowned in this London house of worship. Caitlin from Michigan City.
Westminster Abbey.
That is correct. 10 points for Michigan City. You trail 120-75. Where to?
World history for 15.
World history. We'll stay there. Between September 1793 and July 1794, the guillotine was used to execute thousands of noblemen in this country, including Caitlin from Michigan City.
France.
That's correct. Not including you, but yes, including King Louis XVI. Where would you like to go, Caitlin?
Let's stick with world history for 20.
You guys like that one. 20 points. When he returned to his native Russia, this communist leader of the former Soviet Union concentrated on new economic policy that would create a socialist economy. Tim from Valpo.
Vladimir Lenin.
That is correct. Lenin for 20 points for Valpo. You extend the lead and control the board. Lead by 50.
Starts with G.
Starts with G, a 10-point clue. This type of waterway is partly enclosed by an area's coast and is typically longer and narrower than a bay. Bree from Valparaiso.
Gulf.
Gulf, yes. 10 points for you. Board is still yours.
Starts with G.
Starts with G, 15-point clue. This verb can mean both to take a big hole or scratch in a wooden object and to temporarily. Sylvie from Valparaiso.
Gouge.
Gouge, yes. 15 more points for you. 165-90, your board.
Music.
Music, 10-point clue. Rigoletto, Turando, and Porgy and Bess were examples of this stage presentation in which the dialogue is all sung instead of being spoken? Sylvie from Valparaiso.
Opera.
Opera, you bet. 10 more for you, and the board is yours.
Music.
Music, 15-point clue. The cakewalk, two-step, and slow drag were examples of this type of American music of the early 1900s. Caitlin from Michigan City.
Jazz.
It is not jazz. I'll finish the clue for Valparaiso. First played in the black areas of St. Louis and New Orleans. Type of American music in the early 1900s. Caitlin, gonna give it a shot.
Blues.
It is not blues. We were looking for ragtime. Ragtime. All right, Valpo, believe it is still your board, yes?
U.S. states.
U.S. states. 20-point clue. This state's western shore is separated from its eastern shore by the Chesapeake Bay. Tim from Valparaiso.
Maryland.
Maryland is correct. 20 more points for the Vikes, and you tell us where to go.
American literature.
American literature, a 10-point clue. Cordwood Pete is said to be the younger and smaller brother of this lumberjack, whose tall tales usually mention his blue ox babe. Rishi from Michigan City.
Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan is correct. You're back on the board and trail by 95. Where would you like to go?
World history.
World history. This is a 25-point clue. This historical document concludes with the words, given by our hand in the meadow that is called Runnymede on the 15th day of June, 1215. Tim from Valpo.
The Magna Carta.
Magna Carta is correct for 25 more for Valpo. You're up to 220. Where to?
Physics.
Physics, a 10-point clue. This unit of resistance is defined as 1. Rishi from Michigan City.
Ohms.
There you go. That is correct. 10 for MC, and that's right up your alley. Where would you like to go?
American literature.
American literature. This is a 15-point clue. Described as a tall and thin man who eats a lot, this school teacher is scared away from the town of Sleepy Hollow after he thinks that a headless horseman chases him. No guesses. Ichabod Crane. Ichabod Crane. Michigan City.
World history for 30.
World history. 30-point clue ends the category. This civilization's capital of Cusco was taken over by the Spanish conquistador Francisco Pizarro. Caitlin from Valparaiso.
Peru.
It is not Peru. Michigan City, want to take a shot? Caitlin.
The Incan Empire.
That is correct. 30 points for Michigan City, and the board is yours.
Starts with G.
Starts with G, a 20-point clue. This biblical man from Gath lost his head to David. Tim from Valparaiso.
Goliath.
Goliath starts with G, and the board is yours.
Music.
Music, a 20-point clue. This device produces clicks at a desired speed that correspond. Rishi from Michigan City.
Metronome.
Metronome for 20 points for MC. You control the board.
U.S. states for 25.
States, 25. This state counts the 5 peaks of its so-called presidential range among its White Mountains. Caitlin from Michigan City.
North Dakota.
It is not North Dakota. Tim from Valpo.
Virginia.
It is not Virginia. We were looking for New Hampshire. New Hampshire. I believe Michigan City with the board. Yes?
Let's go with starts with G.
Starts with G, 25-point clue. These female creatures of myth were said to have a long beard and hair made of living snakes. Sylvie from Valparaiso.
Gorgon.
That is correct. 25 points for Valparaiso, and you have 265. You're up by, what about, I want to say, was it 105? Where would you like to go?
American literature.
American literature, 20 points. His short story about a coded message, The Gold Bug, is less famous today than his horror stories like The Pit and the Pendulum and The Fall. Tim from Valpo.
Edgar Allan Poe.
That is correct. 20 points for Valpo. We got under a minute to play. Let's keep rolling here, Valpo. Under 2 minutes, pardon. Where would you like to go?
Starts with G.
Starts with G, 30 points. This Lois Lowry novel is the first of 3 sequels. Caitlin from Michigan City.
The Giver.
It is not The Giver. I'll finish the clue for Valparaiso. This Lois Lowry novel is the first of 3 sequels to The Giver.
The Gift.
Bree, it is not The Gift. We were looking for Gathering Blue. Gathering Blue. All right, Valpo.
Music.
Music. 25. The number of 30-second notes in a half note. Tim from Valpo.
That would be 16.
16 is correct. 25 more for Valpo, and you increase your lead. Where to?
U.S. states.
U.S. states, 30-point clue. This western state saw Custer's massacre at Little Bighorn. Tim from Valparaiso.
Montana?
Montana is correct. That ends that clue. 30 more for you. Where to?
Music.
Music, a 30-point clue. The only note that appears in both of the chords, D major and F major. Tim from Valpo.
A.
A is correct. It's the 5th in D, and it's the 3rd in F. That's 30 for you. Where would you like to go?
American literature.
American literature, 25 points. This children's author created Ribsy the dog, Ralph the mouse, and Ellen Tebbets, as well as Henry Huggins and Ramona Quimby. Bree from Valparaiso.
Beverly Cleary.
Beverly Cleary is correct. 25 points for you. And that's the end of our game. Final score, 395 to 160. Valparaiso is moving on to our next round of play. A great game played by both teams. Michigan City, thanks for coming this year to the tournament. That'll do it for this edition. We will see you next time on Making the Grade.